Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yugioh Everything, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! VRains episode discussion video. This time we will be going over the episode 79 cast list for Yu-Gi-Oh! VRains, as well as the summary, as well as me giving my prediction on who I think will win between Lightning, the Light IGNIS, and Blood Shepherd. And I do want to hear from you guys as well. Please vote in the poll by clicking in the top right of the video, where the poll should be up right now. I want to know who you guys think is going to win this duel, or what the result of this duel will be. I also want to go over some news we got regarding Lightning's deck. We actually got it revealed to us, the archetype that he will be using. It is a brand new archetype, what the archetype is based off of, and probably the design for, I would imagine, his ace monster, which we have the name of the ace monster as well. So we will be getting all into that. And before we begin, if you do not want any spoilers, it is your chance now to get off this video. 3, 2, 1, here we go. So let's just dive right into the episode 79 cast list. This is the episode that is coming up on Wednesday. The title is Blazing Fast Lightning, and when we saw the title of this episode, I think most of us thought that it was probably referring to the Light IGNIS, probably referring to Lightning, and that is exactly who it is referring to. We just saw in episode 78 Revolver and Blood Shepherd potentially teaming up. Blood Shepherd really wasn't about it, but Revolver is very keen on Blood Shepherd's abilities, and that leads us right into the 79 summary. Wary about Revolver and Blood Shepherd teaming up, Lightning decides to challenge Blood Shepherd to a duel. Blood Shepherd uses some new drone tactics to overwhelm Lightning. So it looks like, at least in the first part of this duel in episode 79, Blood Shepherd is going to have the early advantage. Whether that means anything in the long run, because again, you can dominate a duel but still lose, remains to be seen. But here is the cast list. Here is everyone that will be speaking in episode 79. We have Yusaku / Playmaker. We have Ai, Homura, Flame, Aoi, Aqua, Kusanagi, Emma, Ryokin, Spectre, Dojin Kenjo, Lightning, and Windy. We have a lot of characters speaking, and No Gilbo is animating this episode, so it should be a beautifully, aesthetically pleasing episode. Now, we do have a lot of characters speaking. There's not many that really stick out, to me at least. Everyone, kind of makes sense for being on here. I think the two most interesting, or really, Spectre being on here is kind of interesting, but it's probably just going to be him and Ryokin, him and Revolver, having some more conversation about what happened after, the aftermath of what Blood Shepherd did, how Revolver now feels about him going forward, what Spectre thinks about him going forward. It will be interesting to keep an eye on if these two still feel Blood Shepherd will join the Knights, if Revolver still wants him to join the Knights, and if Revolver believes that he will eventually join the Knights, because honestly, Revolver is one of those characters that seems one step ahead of everyone, and that's going to come into who I think is going to win this duel, by the way. And he's just one of those characters that if he says to Spectre in this episode, I still believe that Blood Shepherd will join us, or he will have a change of heart, or we will persuade him with enough, reason to join us in the future. If he says something like that, I myself as the viewer will say, yeah, you know what? Blood Shepherd's probably going to join the Knights of Hanoi. Revolver's not usually wrong about too many things, and when he is determined, he won't stop at much to get things done. And so Revolver and Spectre's conversation post-Blood Shepherd confrontation will be very interesting to watch. Another name that is very interesting on this cast list has to be Windy. We were all kind of wondering, I wouldn't say worried, wondering if Windy, one of the most sadistic Ignis, one of the most sadistic characters we have seen in Yu-Gi-Oh! VRains thus far, was going to survive, if he was going to make a recovery. And while he might not make a full recovery, and he might not be fully recovered during this episode, it is interesting that he is speaking, and the fact that he is speaking leads me to believe that he is going to be a player going forward. As I thought, Revolver and the Knights were very close to destroying him, but Lightning, really because I yelled Lightning, and Lightning was all of a sudden like, oh crap, I really need to save Windy, while he was trying to talk to Revolver. He saves Windy, and most likely Windy is still going to be a threat going forward. And if I had not yelled Lightning as Windy was begging for Lightning's help, while Lightning was trying to talk to Revolver and the Knights about, whatever Lightning really wanted to talk about, Windy might not have survived. So Lightning saved Windy, but you have to give an assist there to I, and I might regret that going forward because Windy probably is going to end up making a full recovery, or at least a partial recovery, or recovery enough that he is still going to be an influencer in Yu-Gi-Oh! VRains down the road. So very interesting that we see Lightning, or that we see Windy, in this episode. No Jin, meaning if Lightning is going to duel through Jin, Jin still will not be speaking, and he still will not pretty much have any free will in this duel. And another interesting character that is missing is Bowman. No Bowman, no Haru. So actually, this cast list is almost more interesting for the characters that are omitted rather than the characters that are speaking, because a lot of the characters that are speaking, you kind of could have guessed they would have appeared in the cast list. So yeah, the only conversation that Lightning will probably have with anyone before he confronts Blood Shepherd about the threat of Revolver and Blood Shepherd teaming up is Windy. There's no one else on this cast list that he could possibly talk to about that unless he monologues to himself. I thought maybe Bowman and Haru will be around. We know Jin is definitely going to be around. Maybe Bowman and Haru will be around, but they just don't have anything to say. Not really the kind of style for Bowman to be in a scene and not speak, because I can't see Lightning saying something, even if Lightning is doing most of the talking and thinking, and Bowman not saying anything, right? Bowman would at least say something like, "Yes, master," and even if it's something very small like that, you would still expect him to be on the cast list. So, most likely, Lightning and Windy will have a conversation pre-duel, and Revolver and Spectre will also have a conversation, probably pre-duel, about the aftermath of Revolver and Blood Shepherd's confrontation, which will be very, very interesting. So, a lot of cool things to keep an eye on. But before I get to my prediction on who I think is going to win this duel and how this duel is going to end, I do want to briefly touch on an article posted by Yugioh Organization from a few days ago discussing Lightning's deck theme. So, Lightning's deck theme is revealed, and it is based on Knights. Now, immediately, the Knight in this picture, maybe it's just me, but I feel like the Knight looks a lot like Hydra Drive Lord, which I like how they kind of have that parallel, because Bowman is a being that was created by Lightning. And so it's not like Bowman had this free will and said, okay, what deck do I want to create? No, Lightning probably just gave him a deck. And so the fact that Lightning created this deck that looks very similar, at least the Ace Monsters do, to his own deck, I think that's a very fitting and really cool parallel there. So I like the design, how it kind of matches the Hydra Drive design, and how it is based on Knights, and the archetype is going to be called the Armatis Legio series. They are cavalry-type monsters, clad in heavy armor. They form various battle formations with their comrades, allowing for powerful tactics that slowly drive the opponent into the corner. The ace monster, most likely the one shown in the image, is Armatis Legio Centurion. And now, a Centurion, I looked it up, is a Roman commander that would command 100 units, which is probably how the word Centurion was even created in the first place, and Centurion is close to a century, which means 100. So, that's interesting. Basically just a leader of men, if you will. And that is what this ace monster is going to be. It's going to be a leader of the battle formations that will be formed on Lightning's field. Now, it's interesting, when you think Lightning, you think quick, you think fast. One of the few words that is used to describe Lightning's deck is slowly. Slowly drive the opponent into the corner. So, you might think very quick, very fast-paced deck. Probably not going to be the case, and so the fact that Blood Shepherd is going to get the early hand, that might fit into Lightning's strategy. Maybe the longer the duel goes, the better chance Lightning has of creating this really wicked battle formation. Maybe these monsters probably will power each other up, kind of like how the Talkers do a little bit, since they form various battle formations with their comrades. So I'd imagine their effects probably will play off of each other. We don't know anything else about the deck, but it will be very interesting to watch in action. So that is the archetype and the deck theme that Lightning will be using. Now, time for my prediction on Lightning versus Blood Shepherd. Who do I think is going to win? Do I think the duel will end in a no result? Do I think it might end in a draw? My prediction, and I'm pretty confident about it, I'm not as confident as saying Blood Shepherd will defeat Ghost Girl, but I'm pretty confident about it, and I believe that Lightning will win. I do not see Blood Shepherd winning this duel. We just saw Soul Technologies get a massive win via Go defeating Earth, which was a pretty surprising result, and then Earth getting seemingly killed off Huge win for Soul Technologies. Now the other villains need a win. Bowman has lost all 3 duels he has competed in. Windy has lost the only duel that he has competed in. Lightning is the only one that has not dueled besides Haru, and who knows if we will even see Haru duel. Lightning is the boss of this group. He needs to win. He needs to get a victory. It would be such a bizarre decision to have him lose and have every single person in the other group, the Evil Ignis group, lose. Windy, Lightning, and Bowman. Bowman times 3. Lightning needs to win. This group needs a victory, just like Soul Technologies needed a victory. Soul Technologies got the victory through Go, and while Blood Shepherd does not have the same heroism as the Earth Ignis per se, Blood Shepherd is a character that they have been really shoving down our throats as of recently. He has gotten a lot more airtime. He has gotten a lot more focus. We as the viewer are supposed to care more about him, about his backstory, about his family, about his upbringing, and this is the perfect time for him to lose the duel and lose a very big duel. Now, a lot of people have said and commented on my videos, and it's pretty... it's not comments that I disagree with. Comments that say the reason Blood Shepherd is having so much airtime is because he is going to lose to Lightning and he is going to get killed off. And while I think that might happen, what I think is more likely is I think Lightning gets a win, but at the same time, so do the Knights of Hanoi. And what I mean by that is both groups can get a win during this duel. Lightning, a legitimate win by defeating Blood Shepherd, showing off his dueling techniques and showing off how good of a duelist he is. And Revolver and the Knights, by Revolver coming in, because he always seems to be one step ahead of everyone. I said it back earlier in this video. Always seems to be one step ahead of everyone. He saved Playmaker and I from Windy and Lightning. He defeated Windy. He almost killed off Windy. I believe he is going to step in. He is going to prevent Lightning from killing off Blood Shepherd or brainwashing Blood Shepherd or whatever Lightning was planning to do with him. Revolver is going to save Blood Shepherd, get Blood Shepherd out of there. So Lightning is going to have the dueling victory. Revolver is going to have the comrade victory because Blood Shepherd realizes he now owes Revolver and the Knights of Hanoi for saving him. And I feel like he's going to pay them back by saying, fine, I need to improve. I need to grow as a duelist and as a person. I'm going to join the Knights of Hanoi. You saved my life. And I think that is more likely going to happen than Blood Shepherd just getting killed off, which is still a strong possibility. Either way, I do not see Blood Shepherd winning this duel. It would be very surprising just from the perspective that the Evil Ignis group would have no major wins. Literally everyone would lose, and their main boss would lose to a character like Blood Shepherd, who's not the main rival, who's not the main protagonist, who's not the main girl lead, who's not the main best friend. He's not, it's not as big of a loss as if Soulburner was dueling Lightning, but I felt that no matter who dueled Lightning first, Lightning was going to get the win, unless that duelist was Playmaker. I'm very glad it's not Playmaker, and I'm kind of glad it's not Soulburner either, because Soulburner versus Lightning, I would have been a little more on the fence about as to who would win that duel, but because it's Blood Shepherd, I really do believe this is the time for Lightning and for the Evil Ignis to get their first major win. So I'm going to wrap things up there. I really hope you guys enjoyed my thoughts on the upcoming episode and the upcoming duel for Yu-Gi-Oh! VRains. A special thank you to my Platinum tier patrons Alexa Baker, Glen McGookin, Jorge Carrillo, James Rose, and Omni Lord, and to my Diamond tier patrons Bouldergeist, Odd Eyes Vaughn, and Jesse Wood, and to my Egyptian God tier patron Syn Cloud. A major thank you to everyone who supports me on Patreon. I cannot tell you how much I really do appreciate it, and a thank you to everyone who just watches my videos, because without you guys, I would not be here. So please leave all your thoughts regarding episode 79 and the upcoming duel down below in the comments section. You know, I love hearing from you, and I cannot wait to talk to you guys down there. Thank you again so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day.